On this episode, we'll talk about the gurgling noises your sleeve makes. We'll also talk about ibuprofen and your sleeve, and we'll talk about resetting your sleeve's restriction. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 26 of the AskDrA show. This is a little Christmas episode for you. So I want to thank you for joining our adventure here with the AskDrA show and being a really good peep here, supporting us and sending the questions with the hashtag AskDrA. So well, let's jump into the questions.
I am 2 years out, and I frequently and randomly have stomach gurgles, just like I did when I was first sleeved. Why?
Alright, so Scott, really good question because as you mentioned, the sleeve gurgled initially, right? Once when it was initially done. And now you're 2 years out and all of a sudden it's gurgling again. What is going on here? So it's quite simple. All has to do with swollen tissue. So right after the surgery, your sleeve is very swollen. There isn't enough space for the water to go down, the saliva to go down. It actually makes its way down and it'll produce this gurgling noise. Remember, if you have a very narrow funnel and you're pouring some liquid in quickly, it will gurgle. The reason is that it's a lot of liquid in a very narrow space and it'll produce these gurgling noises. So what can you do to actually get it going or even eliminate these sounds? It's quite simple. You need to take an acid blocker. So taking an acid blocker prescribed by your doctor or taking some Prilosec over the counter you need to take it for quite a few days, all right? At least 3 or 4 weeks. Morning and evening religiously. For this month, it will make a difference because it will get that swollen tissue down. It will open this space, create this space, and of course the saliva, the liquids will be coming down. The gurgling will go away. In other words, what you're going to be doing is actually making that funnel much larger, and of course it won't be able to gurgle now. So I hope that makes sense.
Are we allowed to have ibuprofen? If not, why?
All right, so ibuprofen is an over-the-counter medication used for pain, muscle aches, headaches, menstrual cramps, etc. It's very good. I mean, I use it myself. We don't recommend it for sleeve patients because it is belongs to a family of medications called NSAIDs, and we've talked about these before. You can Google them, you can place them on YouTube on the search bar. NSAIDs, NSAIDs, which stand for non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. These drugs, with the sleeve or without a sleeve, are very aggressive to the stomach's inner layer called the mucosa. So it's very easy for patients who are used to taking it for long periods of time to bleed from the stomach. All right, so of course now with the sleeve, tiny stomach, you need to be careful a lot, much more than before the surgery. So I wouldn't recommend it unless you just have to take it. Let's say you take it once a month for menstrual cramps. You can take them for menstrual cramps. You're going to take it once a day, twice a day for 1 or 2 days. That's fine. You won't have an issue there. But if you take ibuprofen every single day, if you take large doses of 800 milligrams a day, every single day, because my knees hurt, because my back hurts, and you take it every single day, believe me, it will put a hole in your stomach. It will produce an ulcer that may bleed and may get you in trouble. Remember, this is not because of the sleeve. This is because that's what it does, all right, with a sleeve or without a sleeve. So try to avoid these medications. The best medication for pain, for headaches, etc., is Tylenol. Tylenol does not belong into this family, and you can take it safely without worrying about your sleeve.
Can the sleeve be reset to go back to filling original restriction?
So can you reset your sleeve? Can you reset it to its original restriction point? No. Let me tell you why. Because you probably are comparing yourself to the initial phase or the right immediately the post-op period where the restriction is to its highest point. So what you want to do here is to compare yourself not to that point, but compare what you're eating right now. If you're a year out, 2 years out, compare yourself to what you were eating before surgery, all right? Before you had your sleeve. So if you're comparing yourself to before your sleeve and you're eating about if you're from a scale of 1 to 10, you were eating a 10 before surgery, now you're eating about a 3, 4, 5. Under a 5, you're great. That's perfect. That's where you want to be. But of course, right after surgery, you were probably able to eat about maybe a 1, all right, maybe a 2, and now you're eating about a 5, all right, maybe 6. So of course, you notice that big change, and you're like, damn, all right, now I need to put a lot more effort to this. I want to regain some weight, but remember, compare yourself to before the surgery, not right after the surgery. Now, let me tell you why the difference, because right after the surgery, what we were mentioning a few minutes ago about the gurgling, you got all the swollen tissue. You got everything in there crammed up. There's a virtual space. There's no big space. There's virtual. So there's not much space in there. Remember, you're barely able to sip some water down. So down the road, you're able to gurgle water down easier. You're able to eat a little bit more because all that swollen tissue has subsided after 6 months. So there's no way you can actually reset that sleeve to that initial post-op point, because there's no way to activate all that swollen tissue now and to create that virtual space just right after surgery. So please don't freak out. Watch what you're eating. All right, we're the Christmas, we're with the holiday season right now. You need to watch what you eat. So that is it for episode 26. This is the Christmas episode. Remember, watch out for what you eat. All right, be very careful. Holiday season. We're going to be. I'm actually writing a blog. Be on the lookout for this blog on my website. We're going to be writing a blog on watching what you eat on the holiday season. So it's very. I think I'm writing 7 tips on what you need to look out for. So be on the lookout. Have a Merry Christmas from my family to you and yours. Be safe, and we'll see you soon.